Hello everyone, Jeff with the Green Review here. Let's talk about your pruning tools. Pruning tools are safest when they are sharpest. They'll make a smoother cut with less power. Regularly sharpen your tools, especially pruning tools. The Corona brand makes a good sharpening file here and it works really well on all of these pruning tools. Regularly oil your tools as well. Clean off all of your tools, especially these pruning tools, after use, especially if they have a lot of sap stuck on them. You should oil them up and clean them up. The metal handled tools should last many years. To prevent disease organism transfer between plants or pruning cuts, we sterilize the tools with isopropyl alcohol. And then they'll need a little bit of oil after that too. I found many years ago a sprayer that would screw right on top of the isopropyl alcohol bottle, and I use that all the time. Repetitive motions from actions like hedge pruning will aggravate hand and wrist injuries. Hold your hand out in front of you so you're going to shake somebody's hand. If your fingers are straight in line with your forearm, your hand is in a neutral position. Without moving your arm, tilt your hand downward so your fingers point down at about a 45-degree angle. This is called the ulnar deviation position. When you squeeze your hand in the neutral position, you get the most strength. Tools that cause you to squeeze your hand while you're in the ulnar deviation position cause you to lose up to about 25% of your gripping strength. So tools that are bent already will help you be able to be stronger and do your pruning better than a tool that's straight and causes you to have to move your arms around. So if you have to use your hand like this, turn and prune the branch this way so that you're using your hand in that neutral position. Tool handles with finger grooves molded into them will fit some people's hands just right. For everyone else, they'll cause you to work harder, and if your hand is too large for the grip, your fingers will overlap the ridges, and that'll cause pain and calluses. Hands that are too small for the grip need to be spread out more, which reduces the gripping strength, again causing more work. Now, gloves are great tools and very necessary for many gardening tasks that involve thorns, mud, bugs, and other dirty stuff. Gloves that are too thick can cause your fingers to spread out too far. So a big thick leather glove like this is great for a lot of uses, but when you're trying to grip something, it can be a problem. It'll cause you to lose your gripping strength. All this extra work of squeezing your hand too hard for the job and having to do it repeated extra work will cause, because of improper tools, will cause and aggravate tendinitis and carpal tunnel syndrome. Looking for garden tools, look for ones that have soft handle grips that will meet your hand size, and try them out before you buy them. And then also check to see if it's in the neutral position. And then third, buy a tool that fits the actual work you're going to be done. A lot of people have extra work because they try to use a small tool when they should be using a bigger tool. The hand pruner is usually a scissor-sized tool with a blade only 2 or 3 inches long. They occasionally come with a 2-foot handle that can reach into the middle of thorny shrubs, but they still have the smooth, small cutting blades. They're designed to cut branches up to about a ½ inch in diameter. And newer ones employ gears or ratchets that boost the hand power and reduce the effort to make a cut. Loppers are almost always long-handled, and some even have telescopic handles to reach even harder to get places. And they have 2-inch blades that are designed for those larger branches. And again, some of the newer models have gears or ratchets that help you to increase the ease of use for using less strain on your arms. For both pruners and loppers, the style of cutting blade known as the bypass has blades that pass each other like a pair of scissors, even though usually only one of them is a cutting blade. They're designed to cut living branches. The anvil style of blade that has one flat blade and one curved cutting blade that pushes down onto the anvil can harm the bark on the live tissue, and so it's used for cutting dead wood. Pole pruners can be often extended over 12 feet, and they usually have bypass blades. They may include a saw. The pruning mechanism is controlled by a long rope. There are electric and gas chainsaw blades available on pole pruners. Pruning saws are specifically designed for cutting green wood. They have large teeth that have wide spacing that allows sawdust to fall out. and for the cut to be wide enough to not cause the blade to bind in the cut in the wood as the tree branch moves. Handheld hedge shears have long blades ranging from 6 inches to over 18 inches, and they're designed for hedge trimming. You might be able to do an individual branch if you've got a notch built into the base of the pruner, but they're generally not designed for that kind of work. They can be used for cutting grass along the edge of beds or cutting down perennials like ornamental grasses or daylilies or liriope, a lot of things like that. Longer blades will help make a better hedge trimming because they require fewer cuts, and each cut makes a larger area smoother. So the larger blades are better than the shorter blades. Blades that overlap are preferred because they cut all the way through the whole range of motion. So these come all the way to the end, whereas this one has a tip that doesn't do that. Electric and gas-powered hedge trimmers can be very effective for long hedges, though they are often used improperly by amateurs and even many professionals. It's very easy to make a mistake with a powered trimmer, and they're often used to make horrible, unnatural shapes in shrubs. So be very careful on how you use the electric or gas-powered hedge trimmer. Now we have a little pruner here from Dram and another one from Corona. And these are really good for women's sized hands, for pruning flowers and just for snipping off a rose as well. Small work like that. Metal handles and replaceable blades make this Corona one a very useful pruner, and Corona is used by a lot of professionals. The round handle on this Fiskars one rotates as you use it, so that it allows for the natural motion of your fingers, and it has some gears for a little bit extra leverage as well. These small pruners work really well on bonsai and for flower pruning. They have very sharp scissors type blades and very large handles to make it very easy to use. Gas or electric chainsaws can be used to prune large limbs, but special care must be taken to make sure there's no accidental damage that is caused to the tree by the chain while it's still running. So you've got to be careful, it might damage the trunk when you're trying to just cut a branch. Safety is always a concern when using a chainsaw, and protective clothing should be worn, especially goggles or safety glasses. All pruning tool cutting blades should be tempered or double tempered for longer lasting sharpness. Having a Teflon coating will protect the blade from rust and have less friction and not let as much sap stick to it that has to be cleaned off later. Handles of loppers that are going to have a lot of pressure applied should be oval in shape rather than round for a little bit extra strength. The use of all pruning saws above the user's head is always dangerous. The saw and the cut branch may fall on the user. Overhead wires are always dangerous. Pruning from a ladder is always dangerous. If the pruning cut is going to be dangerous, please hire a professional to do the work. What's this mean to me? One of Rugg's rules of pruning is that no matter which way the wind is blowing and how far up the limb that is being cut, sawdust will fall in your eyes. Safety glasses are always required for pruning. And this is Jeff with the Green Review. Thanks for watching.